Welcome everyone to Caregiver Resources and How to Find Them. I'm Lily Colby, and on the line is also Andrew. Some webinar logistics. Participants are in listen-only mode and are encouraged to submit questions in the questions section of the webinar toolbar. The webinar will be emailed and available online after it's completed, and we'll also send out handouts. There's a handout section of the webinar where you can download different handouts. Today we're gonna discuss a number of different topics, including organizations that you can reach out to. We're gonna provide some CDSS resources, and we're gonna go over how to sign up for the CDSS website, the CCR website, and access our social media pages. We'll also have time for question and answer at the end. But to begin, we would like to have iFoster share some resources with everyone. So on the line, we have Sarita from iFoster to share some information. Andrew, can you share Sarita's screen and turn on her ability to speak? Can you help change the organizer for me? Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties.
Hi, Lily. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Hi, everybody. This is Sarita from iFoster. I just wanted, first of all, to say hi to everybody and want to talk about two big programs we have that are available to you right now and to all of your kiddos. So we're focused on technology access. We know that with distance learning that is going on right now and distance learning that at least in the hybrid model, which will continue probably in the fall, technology access is huge. Also with the lack of in-person visitations and meetings, the need to be able to communicate is also huge, and it can take a lot of usage of your own devices that you may be needing for work and other things. So, two programs iFoster has. We have our Phones for Foster Youth program, and there's two flavors of it. We launched with the youth age 13 to 26. So if a foster youth is between the ages of 13 and 26 inclusive, they're eligible for this specific program. We've actually already delivered, we're closing in actually on 7,000 phones delivered this week. Last week we were at 6,200. The eligibility for this program is the young person needs to have been in care on or after their 13th birthday. Obviously, if they're 24, 25, 26, they're already out of care, that's fine. So they just have to be in care on or after their 13th birthday. The program provides a new Motorola E6 smartphone, very nice smartphone. The plan is unlimited voice, unlimited text, unlimited high-speed data with hotspot capability. That's very important if you want to power up those tablets and Chromebooks. You need internet access. This phone can provide Wi-Fi, hotspot, internet access for you. This program, it's free. Everything is available at least through December 2021. So a year from now, more than a year from now. This program is funded by the California Public Utilities Commission, and it is what's known as a pilot program. So if things go well on this program, there is a potential for this to become a permanently funded program. And I will tell you right now, the CPUC is very happy with how things are going. So this program, the application you would apply for is the Phones for Foster Youth application. It is in the big handout that is laptops and phone applications. You'll find it in there. You can fill it out online, submit it to phones@ifoster.org, and our turnaround time is very quick. So from request to validating the shipping address is usually 1 to 2 days. We reach out to either the youth or the caregiver, whoever is requesting the phone, to validate the shipping address and that everything else is right. Once we get that validation, it usually takes 2 to 3 days to deliver. The longest time for us actually is to get everything validated. We want to make sure that we're shipping things to the right address and that caregivers are, especially for our minors, are aware that a phone has been requested. So that's our 13 to 16-year-olds. Thanks to CDSS, we have just dropped the age and we have Flavor 2 of the program. Flavor 2 of the program is for youth age 5 to 12 inclusive, and obviously their caregivers. The eligibility is that the young people need to have an open CPS case. The actual placement type is open, whether it's legal guardianship, foster care, resource family, kinship family, pre-adoptive, and even wraparound service bio families. As long as there is an open CPS case, the youth is eligible. The phone is the same phone, new Motorola E6 smartphone, comes with the exact same thing of unlimited voice, text, high-speed data, and hotspot capability, but this service is only available for 3 months. There is the potential to renew, depending on funding, we may be able to increase that, but for right now, it's operational for 3 months. The application is the 5 to 12-year-old application. And I would be, I'd also wanted you to know that in the package are all kinds of documents around prudent parenting using cell phones, parental control guidelines, how to set up parental controls. We want to make sure that caregivers feel comfortable that there is a phone in the house that could be used for visitation, for school, for meetings with social workers, for telehealth therapy, but that you feel that you have control over how it's being utilized. So we want to make sure that you have all the trainings you need and feel comfortable. Again, same turnaround time. Everything is submitted to phone@ifoster.org, and you can call us on our toll-free number at any time. Again, I just want to emphasize for our phones going to our little kiddos, we really want to make sure caregivers feel comfortable, and there is a special application for them to agree and feel comfortable, and we are there to be able to provide any kind of live trainings needed to help with parental controls. So that's our phone program. We know that phones aren't necessarily enough. That can get you internet and voice and texting, but what about schoolwork? So we have a computer program. We have up until now been very focused on post-high, those foster youth who are in college, doing continuation high school or in vocational schools. To date, since COVID started, we've delivered about 2,700 laptops. The eligibility for this program, we just increased it where it is in care on or after their 13th birthday. This week, we are not only including post-high, we have expanded it because of funding from CDSS to include high school. So it is a new HP Chromebook. The application is the one laptop for foster youth application. And based on funding, we are funding college, then those youth who are enrolling in college in the fall, then we're moving down to those youth in grade 12, grade 11, grade 10, grade 9. So we will just, as we get applications in, we're consolidating them, and then we're releasing by grade. So right now, today, we are fulfilling all college and fall college. By next week, we anticipate to be filling grade 12 and grade 11. And we'll just keep moving that way. And we will let you know as soon as you send us your application when your grade will be released. So that's post-high and high school. For our kindergarten to 8th grade, we know that they also probably need some devices. We are working on getting tablets. We are working with CDSS and the Department of Ed to get tablets for the kindergartens to 8th graders. So right now we're just accepting applications for a wait list. We will prioritize you based on on how quickly you get the application in. The eligibility is any open CPS case. Again, all placement types, just like with the phones for the kiddos. The device will actually be a new tablet. Exactly what type of tablet, we don't know yet. The application is the same one laptop for foster youth application. And again, we'll start with priority, starting with grade 8, grade 7, grade 6, and working our way down. Once your grade is released, we will let you know. And then from a request to delivery is anywhere from 4 to 5 days, depending on how quickly we can validate addresses with you. You can submit applications to laptop@ifoster.org, and you can call the toll-free number. And don't worry, if you submit a laptop application to the phone at iFoster or vice versa, or you just give up and send everything to support at iFoster, don't worry, we'll get it. We'll follow up with you. If you do not get a phone call or email from us, within about 2 business days of you sending us an email, give us a call, because we always call and verify and tell you that we received your application. Just because we get thousands coming in every day, we want to make sure that you know that we actually received it. So if you don't hear from us in a couple of days, once you've sent us an application, please give us a call and we will hunt it down. Thank you, Lily.
Thank you so much. And also, folks can ask questions in the questions section. We will save time at the end to answer any questions that folks have. And again, the handouts include all the applications for the iFoster programs that were just mentioned. Okay, so thank you for, I'm gonna continue my PowerPoint. Hopefully it will work this time. So caregiver resources. There are a number of different organizations that help support caregivers throughout the state. We're lucky that there are so many kinship and foster families willing to take in children and opening their hearts and their homes. And many of you are on the line are caregivers or work directly with caregivers. And so we were hoping this first webinar would provide some of the resources that are available to community organizations, including iFoster, to support caregivers and families and foster youth. And then we'll also be providing CDSS resources. So first, I'd like to introduce the California State Foster Parent Association, which partnered with us in planning this webinar. You can go to their website and learn more about the California State Foster Parent Association, and you can find out by location the nearest local foster parent association. So please check out their website, and it's available. Their information is available online. Next, I wanted to introduce you to Advocates. Advocates is a legal advocacy nonprofit that protects the rights of foster children in California. They operate a free telephone hotline for anybody who's concerned about foster youth. And so a number of caregivers and dependency attorneys will call this service to ask questions about foster youth rights and foster parent rights. They offer this free hotline, and that the hotline is still available during this crisis. Additionally, they provide information on their website about the resources that caregivers can access. Next, I wanted to talk about the California Alliance for Caregivers. The California Alliance for Caregivers is a free resource for foster and kinship families throughout the state as well. In order to join this group, you sign up online. They don't charge. They host a number of different events, including the California Caregivers Day at the Capitol. And they also work closely with our department and have a group of advocates that meet regularly with Greg Rose to talk about issues facing caregivers. That's the ambassador program. And then currently, they've been providing free support to caregivers through a webinar series called Coffee with Caregivers. Next, I'd like to introduce you to the Alliance for Children's Rights. If you haven't heard of them before, they have a number of free webinars for caregivers and providers and lawyers covering topics from accessing benefits to special education to what is the resource family approval process. So they've got those webinars available on their media page. They also lead the Step Up Coalition and created a resource family approval guide for caregivers and are a wealth of information on caregiver resources. They represent caregivers and youth in the LA area, but they also provide these resources for everyone across the state, which can be really beneficial. Within the Department of Social Services, we operate the Foster Care and Ombudsperson's Office, and you can reach this office 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The phone number, 877-846-1602. Please save it in your phone, add it to your contact list. The Foster Care and Ombudsperson is currently operating and trying to support foster youth and foster families. Through this office, you can file a complaint. They help inform folks of foster youth rights and help enforce those foster youth rights. They have information about COVID-19 and updates, and they partner with the iFoster program around free smartphones. Foster youth who need to show that their proof of being a dependent, either in the past or currently, can get that information from the Foster Care Ombudsperson's Office. We highly recommend that caregivers use this service. If anything that seems like it might be a foster youth rights violation, that you need help navigating those waters, please reach out, especially during this time, if you need support. Next, I wanted to cover that there are foster and kinship care education programs available for free across the state. The community college programs offer a number of classes that were in person that have converted to online through the Foster and Kinship Care Education Program at the California community colleges. They have now made most of their classes online on formats such as Zoom. And if you'd like to find out about local foster and kinship care education program classes, you can email them and they'll let you know the nearest program to you to help you get set up. Additionally, Foster Parent College is free to foster parents in California if they register through an agency that's registered. So it could be their foster family agency, or your county can enroll foster parents, and the foster parents shouldn't have to pay any cost for enrolling in courses online. And there are a wealth of resources that are on-demand classes that you can watch videos and fill out information and take classes. So there is foster and kinship care education programs, and they're operating now. So please do reach out to find out about those. Additionally, QPI has just-in-time training on their website. There are over 250 webinars and trainings to choose from. And then also QPI counties, if you're a caregiver in a QPI county, you can ask for them to create a new training on a specific topic. So there's a wealth of information on the just-in-time training website from QPI. Additionally, during this time, QPI has provided COVID-specific resources and a web training series. So we've partnered with QPI on a series of webinars covering topics about how to deal with COVID-19 and as a caregiver. So please do check out their website, and there are a number of really informative webinars that have already been recorded to talk about how to get through this difficult time. So we recommend you check out that resource. There are more educational resources than I could possibly cover in comprehensive detail, but I did want to have all the links to these resources available in our webinar. The California Foster Youth Education Task Force puts together fact sheets on the rights of youth in foster care. Additionally, at CDSS, we host a page called the Foster Youth Education Resource Hub that has additional resources on foster care and education. And included here is the Foster Youth Services Coordinating Program from the California Department of Education. We spoke to caregivers this month, and one of the things that they wanted to know is how do they reach out to foster youth through Foster Youth Services Coordinating Programs? How do you know who's the Foster Youth Services Coordinating Program in your area? So we provided a link here to the contacts. Additionally, Assembly Bill 490 required that there would be education liaisons at the local county offices of education and school districts. So here's a link to the contacts from the California Department of Education. Additionally, the Alliance for Children's Rights has a foster youth education toolkit on their website, and John Burton Advocates for Youth has put together a wealth of resources around education, especially for transition-age youth and those attending college, and they help run the College Pathways website, which provides information about programs and supports regarding financial aid, college, housing, and transition to adulthood. I highly recommend that caregivers of transition-age youth check out the College Pathways website and find resources such as how to find a college that has housing and a college campus program for foster youth. So there's just a number of resources about scholarships, housing, financial aid, both on the College Pathways website and on the John Burton Advocates for Youth website. Often we get calls from caregivers asking very detailed, specific questions about their foster youth rights or procedural rules or legislative information or court forms. Here are the links so you could download the forms that you need or find the piece of legislation that you're looking for. The first link is for the California Rules of Court. The second link is for the California Legislative Information page. There you can search either by bill number and the year of the bill number or by the code section. So you could type in, for example, Welfare and Institutions Code 300, and you could find the text of a particular code section to find out the information yourself. Finally, here is the link to the court forms. Here you can download forms such as the JV 535, the JV 180, or the JV 290. These forms relate to appointing educational rights holders, changing a court order, or submitting caregiver information to the court. Those forms are free and available online, and you can find them just by going to this link. Most of these websites, additionally, if you Google the key terms, they'll pop up themselves. So you can have the web link, but you can also Google court forms or JV, and then likely the court form that you're looking for might pop up. But if not, you can go to the web link we've provided. During this time, we have worked on a program to provide additional funds to families on EBT cards. If you have not already received benefits automatically, you can apply online for the California pandemic EBT benefits. And if you haven't received a card, you can call our customer service center and follow up. Finally, there are more resources than we could possibly cover in this one webinar, and here are some links to additional web resources. 211 California provides support. You can look up any kind of information about trying to find food or housing or other services through that website. The Kinship Center and Edgewood Kinship Support provide additional resources and support to kinship families. California Youth Connection is a foster youth led and foster youth run organization that works on advocacy, improving policies and practice. Disability Rights Education Defense Fund works on special education and disability rights, and provides a wealth of information on their website about special education resources. Legal Services for Children offers a free legal hotline for youth, and that's operated on Mondays and Thursdays from 1:30 to 4:30 and Wednesdays from 1:30 to 6 p.m. The National Center for Youth Law works on a number of initiatives supporting at-risk youth, including foster youth, immigration youth, and children commercially sexually trafficked young people. So they have a wealth of information about different programs and supports. Additionally, Children Now leads a coalition, and you can sign up for more information about the children's movement on their website. And the California Child Welfare Indicators Project, which is run through UC Berkeley, has information about statistics of foster youth in California. So that was a mouthful. I know that's a lot of information, but hopefully some of these resources are things that you might turn to later when you need them. Now I'm going to turn it over to Andrew to go over our CDSS website navigation and resources that we have available through CDSS. Thank you.
So I will be sharing my screen shortly. So my slides will be focused on navigating the CDSS website and sharing some of the internal resources that we have at CDSS. So part of the reason why we are focusing on both the internal and external resources is there's a lot of different places you can go to get information, and some of the time the different places are complicated, and in the case of visiting the CDSS website, we can openly say that sometimes it is hard to find things, so that's part of the reason why we're walking you guys through this. And like we said earlier, this recording will be sent to you. So if you know of other people who are having difficulty finding things, feel free to share the recording with them. So here we are on the home page of the CDSS website. So as you can see, there are tabs for the benefits and services, information and resources, reporting, data portals, and careers with CDSS. For this PowerPoint, we're going to be focusing on the information and resources. So as you can see on the home page, it has different images that you can click on to take you to shortcuts for different things, such as you can see the apply for CalFresh, or you also see at the bottom for headlines and topics. That's an area where you'll see a lot of information that is either trending or that is a present issue. And then over the past few months, and even now, you probably, when you visited the CDSS webpage, you've seen a lot of COVID-related information, and that's where you would find these things. Now, the second blue arrow is pointing to the icons for Facebook and Twitter, two of our lesser known or used resources. So our Facebook page has a lot of different types of information. It includes the phone number, as you can see, and the ability to message CDSS. Typically what you'll find here is long form resources. So if you have, maybe you know that of older foster youth or somebody who is looking for a job, sometimes job postings are posted here, infographics often get posted here, and videos also get posted here as well. And this is just a place that's kind of meant to be more accessible when you don't want to go to the CDSS webpage, and if you're on social media, it's a good way to keep up with what's going on and to share it with others so that they can also keep up with what's going on as well. The second social media site that we're going to cover is Twitter. So like Facebook, Twitter is also used by CDSS to share notifications. And I'm sure, as most of you know, their Twitter posts are usually not as long as Facebook. And so a lot of the information that is shared is short form information. And usually it'll include a link, as you can see, like the pinned tweet here, that to kind of direct you to another place to learn more. Now, one of the resources that is very, I hesitate to say like a hidden treasure, but like a very underutilized resource is the CDSS YouTube channel, which you can find when you go to YouTube by searching for the California Department of Social Services. You can type in CDSS and you will find our YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel is a very valuable resource for keeping up to date when you combine it with liking and following the Facebook and Twitter, because between these three channels of communication, you'll receive a lot of very valuable and varied information. So on the YouTube channel, a lot of the videos that are produced are training videos, videos sharing resources. We've had more videos detailing information that comes out in the all-county letters or in different pieces of legislation. And it's a really good way for you to kind of see what's going on. And in addition to all of that, training webinars that come from consultants or from experts are also available. And we know, there are a lot of videos on our YouTube channel. As you can see in the image, it only shows 12, but there are hundreds of videos, and they're all sorted by playlist. So in our case, CCR has its own playlist, CalFresh has its own playlist, and this helps organize the information, and especially for people who are coming to visit to learn more, makes it easier for them to find information related to the thing they want to know more about. So now we'll jump back to the CDSS webpage. As you can probably remember from our first slide, I spoke about an information and resources tab. So we've clicked on that tab, and now you have a list of all the programs and resources of CDSS. As you can see on the left side, the arrow is pointing to the program sorted out based on where they fit in within like a overarching program. So like CCR fits into child welfare and programs, and that's how it sorts it on the left side. But if you're unfamiliar with what where the particular thing you want to learn more about is, you can go to the right where it sorts the resources A to Z, and this helps you find things if you're unfamiliar, because then you don't have to know which program a particular thing you're looking for fits into. All you need to know is the spelling. So now I'd like to jump to the CCR homepage. And on the CCR homepage, we've got a lot of different information. So one of the things we really encourage new visitors of our homepage to do is to subscribe to the CCR newsletter. By subscribing to the newsletter, you receive email newsletters, email notifications of trainings that occur, summaries of all county letters that have come out, like if there's in a particular stretch, such as a few months ago, there were all county letters coming out very quickly, and you can find summaries of them. It's a really good way to stay up to date with what's going on. So by clicking on that link, which we really encourage you to subscribe, you'll be able to keep up with all the things that are going on. We also have program icons that will take you to web pages specific to the programs. This is a fairly large web page, so when we copied it over, it did cut off parts of it, but they're also labeled so that you'll know which ones are which. So the one in the middle, the tan colored square, is for the Resource Family Approval Program, and if you're interested in that, all you would have to do is to click on it, and it would take you to all the information that we have about the Resource Family Approval process, and that includes like the written directives and any other information you would be looking for. We also have quick links on above the subscription box, which are for any documents that we believe are used frequently or are things that we really want to highlight. You'll find over there as well. So moving on from information and resources, we're going to cover letters and regulations. So the letters and regulations page is where you'll find the ability to subscribe for all county letters and the ACINs as well. So you can search for the documents using the CDSS search documents function, or if you know what it is, you can go directly through the legislation and regulations and search for it that way. One of the things we really want to encourage is for you to subscribe to the All County Letters and Notifications, because this will help you keep up with what is going on. And on our slide, we have the how to do the subscription. One of the things we really encourage and support and want to let potential subscribers know is that when you're subscribing, you uncheck all the boxes that you would like to subscribe to. So if I was interested in only the ACLs and CFLs, I would uncheck only those boxes. And this is just so that you don't receive information that you don't want. So if you subscribe to the CCR newsletter and you subscribe to the letters and notifications, but subscribe to all of them, you would get a lot of emails, and we don't want to flood anyone's inboxes too heavily with the different materials. And if you can't find, you find you're not receiving the letters or the notifications, you can check your spam or junk folder and they may be there. But this is something we really encourage you to share with others who want to know, who want to keep up to date with what's going on. So we will get to the questions shortly. We just want to jump to the last slide really briefly to share some quick resources. So as you can see, there are a lot of different email addresses you can reach out to. You can reach out to me in regards to CCR communications like webinars and things like that, and I can help you with those. We've also included the CCR mailbox and the RFA mailbox addresses as well as the links for the RFA and foster care ombuds web pages. We've also included the GoToWebinar, WebEx, and Zoom tutorials. We host and share a lot of information using these three channels, and these will help you get acclimated with each of the sites. Not all of our materials are shared with any one source, so we've included all of them so that you will be able to access our resources and participate in a manner that you'll be able to understand what's going on and not run into any problems. So if you have any questions for us about any of the resources that we've shared, go ahead and send them to us in the question section or through the chat function, and we will answer as many questions as we can before our time is up.
Thank you, Andrew. We got a number of questions already, and I wanted to direct the first couple to Sarita before she needs to drop off the line. Sarita, some of the questions have to do with the phone and laptop programs. The first is, does this include children who are adopted after their 13th birthday? So I think there are questions about, and I wasn't sure if this is in regards to the phone program or the tablet program. But do you mind going over the age requirements for both of those programs again?
Okay, sure. So For the phone program, there are two flavors. Kids who are 13 years and older, that eligibility criteria is that they were in foster care, so an open CPS case, on or after their 13th birthday. So the specific question that you had, that youth would be eligible. The fact that they got adopted after their 13th birthday, they're still eligible. For children ages 5 to 12 for the phone program, the eligibility is that they have a current open CPS case. The placement, it doesn't matter what the placement is. Could be kinship, could be foster, could be legal guardianship, adoptive, pre-adoptive, as long as there's an open CPS case. But when in doubt, send in an application and we will sort it out for you. So that's the easiest on the phone. On the laptops, same thing. For our kids who are in high school all the way through college, the eligibility is in care, open CPS case on their 13th birthday or later. So if they exit care at 13 and a half, that's okay, they're eligible. For the tablets, meaning kids who are 13 or younger, kind of our kindergarten to grade 8, then they have to be in care with an open CPS case. Again, placement type is irrelevant. And again, if you are at all confused or worried or not sure, give us a call or send in an application and we'll work through it with you.
Thank you. Do you mind also explaining if there were questions about how to monitor the cell phones and prudent parent standards, and a couple of questions about if there's court-ordered monitoring. Do you have any resources or information about how prudent parent standard or supervising cell phones and tablets works? One person was specifically concerned about can they restrict access in some cases when it's, they need their foster child to get sleep or prioritize other things?
Yes, so excellent question. So we have actually, when you download our handouts, you will actually, there is from CDSS prudent parenting guidelines for cell phone usage. Plus, we've included a whole bunch of FAQs that get to this, as well as a quick reference guide for parental controls, because there are a variety of parental controls that you have control over that phone. You can set times when that phone just turns off and cannot be used. For example, bedtime, dinner time, whatever it is. You can block the downloading of specific applications, and there's a variety of things. We can even help you tether two phones together so that you can monitor. So we have provided a quick reference guide on all the varieties of parental controls that you can do. And then in addition to that, we have an online self-directed training that we will provide to every caregiver when they complete an application that allows them to go online and walks them step by step through how to set every single variety of parental control that exists, because there are many different flavors of parental control, and it's up to the caregiver to determine what is best for them and their child.
Thank you. And one last accessibility question. Someone asked, if you have a foster child who has a case in LA or in California, anywhere in California, but they're placed out of state, are they eligible for the phone program or the tablet program?
Excellent question. They are eligible for both. We have been sending phones and laptops across the U.S. because we know that we have youth who are placed out of state, or maybe they're going out of state for college. So they're eligible for both. The only thing we check is we want to make sure that wherever they're currently residing, that there is phone service available, which is in the vast majority of places.
Thank you. Someone asked about, so this is a question for Andrew. Could you explain again how to access the CCR page? And could you explain again how to sign up for news and information, just briefly? Someone was really interested in getting specifically county letters and notices.
So to sign up for the county notices, you would go to our CDSS webpage, and let me go to the slide actually. You would come to the letters and regulations section. And in that section, that's where you would go to the letters and notices home to subscribe for all of the ACLs and ACINs. If you wanted to go to the CCR web page to subscribe to the CCR notifications, not notifications, newsletters, then you would go to the CCR web page, and there would be a subscribe here, right here. There would be a box that says subscribe to the latest CCR news, and that's where you would find it for the CCR related information.
Thank you. We got a number of questions about the pandemic EBT benefits, who's eligible, how it works. We can't go over all the ins and outs, but children who are eligible for free and reduced lunch are eligible for the pandemic EBT benefits, not just foster youth. So some questions had to do with children who are adopted or other situations. If the child is eligible for free and reduced lunch, then they're eligible for this benefit. If you're unsure and you haven't received the benefits, please do apply, and apply before June 30th at the website I included in the presentation, as well as I just included it in a link to that information in the question and answer section. I also included information about the call center. So if you have specific eligibility questions about the age of the youth, or does their type of school qualify, all those types of questions, you can call the number 24 hours a day and ask those questions, and you can apply online for that program. We got a number of comments. Thank you everyone for advice about the PowerPoint, and also all the positive feedback from folks sharing information about how they appreciate this webinar and that they want more information like this shared in the future. I additionally wanted anyone who's still on the line to, in the comments section, in the questions section, if there's any resources that weren't covered today that you know are statewide and are helpful, please just write them down in the questions section, and we'll add them to our list of resources that we send out after the webinar. We'll provide a follow-up to this, and if there are resources that are helpful for resource and kinship families that you know about that are statewide, then feel free to share those. Let's see, are there other, maybe we can answer a couple more questions before we have to get off the line. And any questions we haven't answered, we might be able to answer via email. Someone asked, is resource family approval process different from regular licensing? Andrew, can you answer that question?
Could you repeat the question?
resource family approval different from regular licensing?
I think they're similar, but I'm not totally sure.
So right now we've transitioned to having caregivers get approved as resource families. So just make sure that you're up to date with your licensing, but we now call it the resource family approval process, and the requirements are different in statute today than they were a few years ago. If you were licensed as a foster parent, you might have had to get relicensed or reapproved as a resource family, or you might have been grandfathered into policy. There were a couple other comments. People wanted to have access to this information sent via email because they weren't able to download the handouts on their phones. So we will try to accommodate that and provide the resources as email follow up. And we really appreciate all of you joining today. If you have additional things that you would like us to cover in future webinars, you can feel free to add those in the questions section. And we want to thank everyone for joining. We really appreciate your time. Thank you for being caregivers to young people in need, or for supporting foster and resource families across the state. Now, during this time and during all times, the work that you do and the care that you provide is important. Thank you all for joining us today, and have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Okay, I think we're going to close the webinar. Bye-bye, everyone.